Halloween is directed by David Gordon Green, who is probably best known for his collaborations with Danny McBride. This Halloween film is a sequel to John Carpenter's original 1978 film, now set 40 years later, and ignores all of the other sequels and convoluted continuity that has hampered the series in the past. Yes, Halloween H2O kinda did the same thing, but the result is executed far better here. That means the twist in Halloween 2 that Laurie Strode is actually Michael Myers' sister did not occur. That movie is not canon anymore, which is good because aside from still being referred to as the living embodiment of evil, Michael Myers can just be the deranged serial killer that we all know him to be. He's not related to any heroes or tied to any ancient cults. He's just a messed up dude. That doesn't mean the old sequels don't get referenced, as the movie includes a lot of sly winks to them, but this film honors John Carpenter's original film and has nothing but love for the 1978 movie that introduced the world to Jamie Lee Curtis, maybe a little too closely. This film follows the original Halloween quite intimately and could be seen as a straight up remake of John Carpenter's film. There are many callbacks and references to the first movie, not just in dialogue but visually as well. In fact, Halloween fans will probably recognize some of the ways Michael Myers decides to kill some of his victims. This Halloween film is really made to win fans back and reassure them that the franchise is in good hands, but it doesn't spit on them for liking any of the previous sequels. In fact, it tries to celebrate the entire franchise. This is one of the goriest Halloween films as well, with some sickeningly creative executions that are as over the top and fun as fans would expect. So as I mentioned, this Halloween is set 40 years after the first, where Dr. Loomis and Laurie Strode fought off Michael Myers. While Dr. Loomis has since passed, as real-life actor Donald Pleasance is no longer with us, Laurie Strode has spent the last 40 years preparing for the return of Michael, having been haunted by the night her friends were killed. This trauma has caused her family life to fracture, creating distance between herself and daughter Karen, played by Judy Greer. But on the night Michael Myers does return to Haddonfield, the years of preparation will finally be put to use in a final confrontation. So in ways it's kind of like Terminator 2, where Sarah Connor spent X amount of years preparing for the return of the Terminator. Jamie Lee Curtis is really wonderful in the film. This is the franchise that gave her her career, so she is fully committed to creating a Laurie that is damaged and vulnerable, but ready to rid herself of the past. I honestly wish we had more of her in the film. There's a lot more attention paid to the newer, younger cast than I had expected. But of course, Michael needs fresh faces to kill. Laurie's granddaughter Allison harkens back to how Laurie was in the first movie, where she was far more naive. Although she only refers to Laurie as grandmother, not grandma or any other abbreviation, but the full grandmother, which I thought was just bizarre. This Halloween is a lot funnier than I was expecting as well, and I guess that's just one of the perks of having Danny McBride writing the script. It doesn't make the film a comedy, it's definitely still a horror film. This isn't Evil Dead 2 where it's equal parts comedy and horror. But if you've seen Blumhouse's other big horror hit, Get Out, then the comedy is handled in a similar fashion. It helps break some tension and keeps the film feeling fun, as a Halloween film should do. This movie is hampered by old slasher tropes. You've got the fairly slow build-up introducing us to all the characters before hell breaks loose, in addition to stupid horror characters doing stupid things, like giving away their position or somehow getting a piece of clothing caught. If these sorts of things don't bother you, and you're going into Halloween for that classic slasher feel, then you're definitely going to get a lot of enjoyment out of it. If any of these horror stereotypes bother you, then you might get a bit annoyed. And the kills are still easy to telegraph. As usual, someone wanders off or ends up on their own somehow, and you have a pretty good idea of what's going to happen next. Outside of the trio of Laurie, Karen, and Allison, most of the characters are pretty forgettable and inconsequential. We do get to meet Michael's new doctor, who Laurie literally calls the new Loomis. And he's fine. There are some interesting things done with his character, so as to not be a direct reincarnation of Loomis, but the actor just lacks the screen presence of Donald Pleasance, and the guy just becomes another old dude in a horror movie rambling on about evil. Halloween is a pretty movie. That's what I've always enjoyed about this franchise, is there's still a fair bit of class to the series, even though it's on a smaller budget. It's not trying to just be the quick, cheap hack and slash thrill ride that Friday the 13th is. There's still some actual effort being made to make it cinematic. But Halloween fans are of course going to be most excited about John Carpenter returning to do the score, along with Cody Carpenter and Daniel Davies. There is clearly a lot of love shown for the original, and if you're an old school fan of the franchise, I guarantee, the first time you hear the Halloween theme blaring on the cinema speakers, you're gonna have a smirk from ear to ear. It's really special. This Halloween isn't for everyone, but it is without a doubt the best sequel to come out of the franchise, and best film since the original. Fans are definitely the ones who are gonna get the most out of this. David Gordon Green has a lot of respect for John Carpenter and this franchise, and he has gone all out to honor the franchise. I'd definitely be looking forward to more Halloween films following this new continuity that's been established, even though I thought the ending of this film could have been a bit stronger. But this is Halloween as people remember it. It's a bit more of the same, but at a far higher quality than most horror sequels. You're gonna have a really fun time with friends watching Michael Myers chasing people. Halloween is back, and I hope it sticks around a lot longer before we get another retcon. Halloween gets a 7 out of 10 from me. Guys, I hope you like this review. If you want to see more reviews just like this one, stay right here for your Mono Fix. Bye guys.